Hello and welcome to another episode of The Founders Ark, your Lost Ark podcast with episode 8. And today, as always, I am not alone and I have the illustrious Beaver with me. Hi, Beaver.
Oh, hi.
Hi. How's the Sunday? Hope you're doing fantastic.
Oh, it's a Sunday. I mean, I can't complain too much on that aspect.
That's good. I mean, it's before the Monday, so that's always like, it's a drop in happiness.
Exactly.
It's like, oh man, tomorrow it's work again. But man, there was a week. There was a week in Lost Ark terms, to say the least. I know this will surprise a lot of people, but today we are talking about the big April patch, which dropped on Thursday. And I know, surprise. Everyone doing the Pikachu face, please. I would appreciate that. And well, but before we actually talk about the patch and like that we could have gotten the patch, actually we didn't got the patch in the first place because we got told that sorry folks, but that patch has to be postponed and we will come back next time. If you have missed it, it's there was an announcement. I made a video about it and I was like, oh shit, I have to make a video, damn. And then I got a lot of views, and then an hour after I released the video, they were literally like, just kidding, there is of course a patch coming. And it's like, so
Definitely makes you feel like they were crunching at that last minute to try and get that finished. Because the fact that they were like, "Yeah, it's not happening because we found a bug and we're not going to be ready," and then they're like, "By the way, we fixed that. We're ready." In like an hour.
I mean, I think the biggest problem was I truly believe that they found the bug and they just didn't know how quickly Smilegate can fix it and how they can react on it.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure like they have a QA team maybe at Amazon who's like looking at some of the stuff sometimes, and they were probably sending it back to South Korea and was like, folks, urgent, hello, good morning, wake up, wakey, we have a problem, please fix this as quickly as possible. And they just, I assume that's how it did go. They were just like, okay, let's inform the community that we might not manage to get this because time zones are bitch, let's face it. And like, we don't know how quickly South Korea is able to fix that. And well, it seems like it took them an hour and bam, here we are. So good. And then the patch came out and they were super quick with the patch. I think they took 4 hours, like half the time of the actual patch time. So it took them like 4 hours to prepare all that, which is neat, And then Europe was like, nah, I don't like this. This looks like work. So the servers were going on holidays, and it actually happened. When I streamed it. I had a 100,000 ping.
Wow.
To the server, like not 10,000, not 1,000, 100,000 milliseconds was the connection to the server. That's wow, I have never seen that. And it actually stayed for like 5 minutes, and then after 5 minutes even my server was like I'm out. And then the servers were gone for 2 hours. I think they were gone for 2 hours. Like they completely had to restart the servers and all that.
Did they take down, because I didn't notice it at that point, but did they take down the US servers? Because I noticed
No.
we got a maintenance compensation, and I'm like, what happened?
No, interestingly enough, like the Americans were just playing. Europe was on fire, and the US were just sitting there. We're like, no, we cool, man. We cool. I was like, oh, okay. Well, we are just burning here to cinders, I guess, and you have a great day. Yeah, patch is great. Have you played it already? No, our servers are still down. Well, sucks to be you, I guess. Have a good one. Going playing. Bye.
Right? Wow.
So that was like I really have to say, at the beginning of Lost Ark, I was actually thinking about creating a character on a US server where also like most of the people I know, right? And because most of my playtime is US time anyways, and I was really close to just say, yeah, let's do that. But for whatever reason, I decided not to do that and go to European servers. And man, do I regret that decision. Let me just tell you. It's
Yeah, I know we had a few Europeans to join us on the American servers.
Smart. Very smart.
Especially in the beginning, because even once, like, yeah, I remember opening day was a cluster no matter where you went.
Yeah.
But it was for like that first 2 to 3 weeks, it was just a royal cluster on European servers, and on the US servers, it cleaned up pretty quick.
Yep. It's like, I have the feeling it didn't, like Lost Ark didn't explode on the US side of things as much as it did in Europe. I still wonder why, but in Europe I have the feeling Lost Ark is such a bigger deal. As also, it's why am I saying this is because like our servers were just royally effed, right? And we had like problems day and night, and I'm pretty sure that the US and Europe are using the same servers, so it's probably not a technology difference.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing though for content creators. It is so fascinating to see when most of the YouTube and Twitch streamers are all like Europeans, which is rare. Normally it's the other way around, right? The US is dominating. As they should, you know, US and all that. USA, no, we're not doing America. It's, I'm speaking of America, quick derailing. So, like a few years ago, I found the Lord and Savior, Dr. Pepper.
Oh yes,
right.
Yeah.
We didn't have Dr. Pepper here. Like, that didn't exist till like a few years ago, because Dr. Pepper is also not made from Dr. Pepper here, but actually Coca-Cola is making Dr. Pepper here in my country. It's
Their
weird.
license, yep.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's actually kind of like that here in the US too, is there's certain bottling companies that will bottle Coke that will also do Dr. Pepper. It's very interesting.
Yeah. So they finally came to Europe, and I made a point a few days on Twitter where I said like, so I got told that Dr. Pepper is actually seen as the redneck southern like drink in the US. And I was just like, okay, now that you know that, get off my lawn! Or send my gators after you, you scum. And there were actually some Americans which were like, wait, really? I didn't know about that. Wait, what?
Yeah, I mean, I never heard that either, but I love Dr. Pepper.
It's a weird thing, like, and this is actually coming from, like, how do I know this? Because and actually like Southern American who also like totally admits like, yeah, I'm a redneck. Like I'm totally a redneck, man. It's like no, like that's the drink for them, apparently. So he told me. I don't know if it is true or not. Like I can just follow what I got told. But yeah, so total derailing. Speaking about America and Murica, back to Lost Ark. By the way, we have only the standard Dr. Pepper here. One last derail. We don't have.
That's all you need, though. That's all you need.
I heard they have some really interesting variations.
Don't get me wrong, some of the variations are good, but you can't go wrong with a classic. You know what I mean?
We have, and this is absolutely hilarious, I will not show it because I'm not getting sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Call me, baby. Call me. We can talk about this. I have the American Football Edition of Dr. Pepper.
Oh, the one that's in the shape of a football?
Well, it's not really a shape, like it's still the same bottle, but they literally just like put the printer thingy and made it look like a football. Like they used the same color. It's super cheap. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen any in the US yet, but I know prior years Dr. Pepper made their bottles kind of like in a football-esque shape.
Oh no, they're not going that far. They literally just changed the color of the sticker.
Look like it.
Yeah, and they put a football on it. Wow. It's like, man, that marketing money. But back to Lost Ark and their marketing money. So before we are diving into the fine details of Lost Ark, 5 minutes of what's your first impression of the big patch? Go.
I enjoy it. They could have had a little bit more clarity with some things, but outside of that, I'm enjoying all the things that they kind of brought to it. It feels like now there's kind of a point to grind again, even though there always was. It just kind of, the Arc Pass is really giving me more oomph to move.
Have you bought the premium or super premium?
So I was originally against it because I was like, I could just buy the Noble Pack in there, but then I priced it out and I'm like, it's actually cheaper, so I went with the super premium. Yeah. Yep. Super premium.
You are weak. You are so weak.
I'm very, very, very weak. You want to know how weak I am? I'm so weak that I even got my my Lance Master. Okay. And I bought the Lance Master exclusive pack that came with the cloud mount and all the other stuff. That's how weak I am. Okay.
You should really change your name from Beaver to Whale.
I was gonna say to Whale.
Yeah, just call it Whale now.
But to be fair, I have not spent any money to level my character. Just saying. All the money has gone to skins and cosmetics.
Which are the most expensive shit in the game.
Yep. And they are amazing. Let's be real.
It's so great that you are proud of not spending any money on like how to get honing materials or get your character stronger, which are literally like costing you cents. But you are bragging about how you buy the most expensive shit in the game every month. Which are skins and whatnot.
I mean, it's cheap at first, but when you really are trying to hone and get to those higher levels, it's not as cheap.
Yeah. It's basically the first shot is free. Well, it makes you look like you don't need a lot to get the addiction going, right? Like just a few grams of that coke will actually help you, and then you need more and more to actually get satisfied. It's
just like that first what for was 2600 premium gems to get like $50 worth of royal, like to get the regular gems. Like, that was the first pack. I was like, okay, I know what you guys are trying to do. You're trying to get me addicted to this shit.
Yeah, I also bought the package. They don't have anymore, I think, but which was like the reach level 50 package, and then get like tons of crystals. and the exchange rate was just so good, like seriously so good. Like, oh.
I'm still sitting on all those gems.
So I used the gems for my Glaivia, like buying the special glaive. Like you could buy the what was it, the Ark Pass glaive.
Yes, yeah.
The banquet one. I just bought the glaive, not the outfit. I just bought the glaive because the glaive looks really, really good. And
I haven't decided who I want to take my noble stuff to.
Yeah. Like it's looking all right. The problem with the noble stuff is a bit like it doesn't really fit in like a battle scenario. Again, I love the weapons. I think the weapons look really, really sick, but it's like the outfit itself. For me personally, it doesn't fit into a battle scenario. Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely more just like I'm gonna look pretty.
Let me ask you another very important question. White tiger or black tiger?
I went white.
Good man. I saw the black tiger for the first time in action because unfortunately you cannot have a preview of the tigers, which sucks a bit. At least not in game. And I saw the black tiger for the first time in action. Man, like even the cloth. I'm pretty sure it has a specific name what he has, but the cloth, right, coming from him, even that is black, and it just doesn't look as good, I feel.
It's like the horse scenario, right? When they released that one horse, the black on black, it just had no.
I have that, and I'm still very disappointed on my decision.
Yeah. Like even like I got the with my founders, like I went with the big founders. I got the I did the black Cerberus for the first one, and I was just like, okay, it looks cool because it's black, but I don't know. I feel like some of the colored ones, like when they gave the second founders pack, I got the blue one, right? I went with the blue one, and I felt like that one just looked a lot nicer because the blue had a little bit more like tints through it and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So how far are you in your Ark Pass? Like, which level do you have? Do you know that from the top of your head?
I am 19 going into 20.
Not bad. I mean,
now, to be fair, when you buy either the Ark Pass or the Premium or the Super, you buy the Ark Premium or the Super Premium, you go to level 15 basically.
Yeah, if you were just buying the Premium, it's level 11.
Oh, gotcha.
Because
I couldn't remember the exact amount because they give you so many when you purchase.
Yeah, I just bought the Premium. I didn't bought the Super Premium because the Banquet one didn't captivated me, and it was also very expensive.
Yeah, I honestly, I wasn't gonna do it at first. I really wasn't, because it was an extra $15.
Yeah, I find that a bit too much for what you get. But again, that's up to discussion. Speaking of up to discussion, speaking about the Ark Pass, what do you think about them putting like honing materials behind the paywall?
I mean, it is, but it isn't. Let's be real. So they, like, when you do the free version of the Ark Pass, you have the choice of going with all the honing materials, or you can go with the other items that they're dropping in there, which is basically like one or the other. Or, and the way I looked at it this way is, if you pay for the premium, you're guaranteed all that stuff, and then you could pick the other things if you wanted it, right? Or you can double up at that point. I mean, again, it's a free-to-play game. I don't see how can anyone see an argument with that, because I don't know.
I mean, what I would love to see, like, again, it's a free-to-play game, but like, I love Lost Ark, right? and I'm okay with it because I'm really loving the game. But I think it's one of the bad free-to-play models. Like again, putting like holding materials behind the paywall, they could have come up with something else, like maybe more skins, like maybe more pets or something like that. Well, something which isn't as predatory, so to speak. Like I think we had this discussion before about the item shop, that you can actually buy the holding materials in the item shop.
Yeah.
And where I said, yeah, there's a better way to do this. They don't need those holding materials because the holding system sucks anyways. But again, it's like, yeah, I'm I get it. They have to make their money somewhere. And I think we actually talked about this before, but I would be a little bit easier going on all of this if the prices wouldn't be that high.
Yeah. And see, I totally agree with you on that too. Like, I am kind of torn with the price that you paid. It was like $15 for the premium pass, and you are paying a majority of that. When you think about this, the majority of that is for the materials, because the only real thing that you're getting out of that, and I do agree that I think they need to do more of that, is the pet all the way at the end. And I think
Yeah.
I did double check, and correct me if I'm wrong, that pet is only in this pass,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And most pets are about $5 to $10 depending on the pet anyway. So you can kind of take that as you will. But again, I do agree. I would like to see more skins, because that's one reason I went with the super pass, is I did feel like, okay, I'm getting a little bit more out of it. Like, I'm getting that wallpaper, and I do enjoy the wallpapers.
They're good.
And
yeah.
like, I did price out getting the noble set on its own, and it did cost more doing it that way. Going on it, like buying it with the gems versus getting it through the pass. So I was like, you know what, whatever, I'll do the pass. It will give me something extra to do. But yeah, the regular premium pass itself, I feel like they should add a little bit more cosmetics to it, and not necessarily just all that extra. Or even, maybe instead of like, because I've seen other games do the similar pass, right? And instead of opening another item, like if you buy the premium, let them get everything
Or
versus
both of
selecting
them.
one or the other.
Yeah, that would also be probably okay-ish.
Put
Like
that in for like the regular stuff, right? Because then they don't have to choose, and then have like skins that kind of like how the
Yeah.
premium, where it has skins at 5, 10, like there's not stuff at every level type thing.
Yep. It's a yeah. They definitely can do more with it. Like, I find that a bit unfortunate, but yep, it's the first Ark pass they're doing here. I'm hoping they're learning. And again, if the price tag would just be a little bit lower, I think it would have been a little bit easier. Like, again, I don't mind because I also want to support the development of the game, and I'm not like spending tons and tons of money. Like, I respect for, like, it also seems like they're really using the money they're getting to push out a lot of content. Like, there was always like the problem I had with World of Warcraft for years now, for over a decade now, that I always felt like, okay, I'm paying $15 here per month. Well, in Europe it was 13 bucks per month. And what do I get? Especially Blizzard was notorious for not having a patch, sometimes even in a year, where you waited a year for new content. I was like, well, what am I paying you $15 here per month? That's not worth it. And as long as I have the feeling you were doing something which also enhances my gameplay with that money, I'm okay to give you money, even if it is a bit steep here and there.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. So let's talk about the next big thing. The Glaivia. Can we just agree that name is dumb?
Yeah, I keep calling it the Lance Master. I don't care.
It just Lancer. Yeah, it's just Lancer for me. It's like it gets even worse. So, as most of you know, I'm German. I know, shocking for some people, and some people will also now say, "I knew it." But interestingly enough, in the German version, they're basically calling it the Lance Master. In German. As like, really? You were telling me that the German translation got it right and the only one who goofed is the English one? Really?
It's not surprising at this point.
I mean, if you haven't noticed, they actually fixed one of the biggest and game-breaking bugs in Lost Ark with the new patch. They finally fixed it. And it is now Frost Helgar instead of Frost Helgar. They fixed it.
Yeah.
So proud of the team. So proud of them. That was so awkward. Every time you clicked on it, it's like, what the heck is
I'm sorry,
that?
it actually took them that long to fix a text file.
That was so sad. Like, we saw it on stream when the patch came out. Like, I just clicked on it because, well, it's the first tier 2 Guardian raid, right? And I just boosted my Lancer. Glaivia, sorry. And my chat got actually excited. They got excited and they were like, oh, did they change the name? Oh my god, they fixed it. Oh my god, look at it. They fixed it. Oh my god, they, like, my chat was literally like celebrating. It's so hilarious because it became such a meme over the last 2 months. It's pretty great. But no, jokes aside. So Glaivia, have you boosted your Glaivia with the pass, with the new one?
I did. I boosted my Glaivia, and in fact, believe my Glaivia is 1060 right now.
Which is the starter thing, yeah.
No, 960 is where it starts. I got it to 1060.
Oh, sorry, I misheard. I'm so sorry.
That's us. So right. I've been playing her a bit, been enjoying her. I took the easy way out. I did the is it control engraving where you only have the one side, you can't go on the other side.
Oh, you used the easy one. Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I'm trying that one out first and seeing how things go.
I should do the same because it is really easier, especially because like the equipment you need, the engravings you need, like all the stuff you basically need is much easier to get.
Mm-hmm.
But
the way I looked at it, it's just an alt too, so I'm not like going too nuts with it.
Oh yeah, so for me the Glaivia is became a main because there was one of the three weapons, well, technically one of the 3 advanced classes which I played in other regions and which were my mains there because I really enjoyed them. The Glaivia, the Scout, which whatever name they're calling it in the English version, and none but least the Arcanist. So those were the 3 I was playing. And so for me the Glaivia is now my main character. And yeah, I just thought, I don't really want to swap my engravings and whatnot after some time. Like, especially also in PvP, you're using both. So you're swapping. And so I just have to get used to it. Like, it would be so weird and confusing if in PvP I have to use both stances, or the different glaives, whatever you want to call it. And then in PvE, I'm just like, Oh no, I'm just using the blue one.
I'm just rolling my face on the keyboard.
Just being here, not thinking much. Like, yeah, that wouldn't end well. I already can tell you that my brain wouldn't be able to handle that. That would be too confusing. I know myself. But yeah, what is your first impression of the Glaivia?
I've been enjoying her. It's definitely interesting because it has a lot of motion like my Berserker, but I feel like you have even more movement overall because of how fast you need to be moving around to not take those hits. Right? Because unlike the Berserker, you can't really get the backhand every now and then. You know what I mean?
No, you totally don't. I have, like, for me it's even worse because my main character so far has been the gun lancer. So standing in front of the boss was like my forte, and taking some hits here and there, don't give a damn. I literally had some Guardian raids where I actually died because I wasn't careful enough. And I was like, wait, what happened? I'm dead.
Like, I don't remember this being this hard. What the hell?
Yeah, like, I don't even remember the screen. What is this? Everything is gray. I cannot move. I cannot attack. Is the game bugged? Did the game break? What's going on here? What is this?
What's this Phoenix bloom it's talking about here?
Yeah, I have still 400 of those. What am I supposed to... What? I'm using this? What? Like, it was super weird. It was super awkward. But yeah, sorry. Continue. Like, what else do you have to say?
I've just been enjoying it. Like, it's not going to be my main, but it's definitely my highest tier 2 at this point. And it's going to... My goal right now is I'm getting my main to 1370, which is almost there. I have 3 pieces yet to go. And then I'm pretty sure my Glaivia will be done in T3 by then as well. So I'll have 2 in T3. So that'll be fun.
Yeah. The Glaivia would be my second character in tier 3 because as I said, I couldn't be asked. Like, I don't like most of the classes. I'm like, this is one of my personal vendettas, so to speak, in every MMO, to find like the classes I really, really enjoy. And I'm always the dude who likes weird shit, who doesn't like the conventional classes, because
you don't like the meta.
Not the meta, it's just conventional classes. It says, oh, there's the dude with shield and sword. Oh, there's the rogue. Oh, there's the sorceress. I just can't. I'm just so annoyed by it at this point. But yeah, so the Glaivia is definitely the main for me. I enjoy her in PvE. Like, she can dish out a lot of AoE. Like, it's kind of crazy. She's pretty cool. I did play her in PvP. Not ranked yet, because I'm not yet there yet. I'm still in PvP. I'm still struggling to not fall over my own lance. Like, you just have to imagine this in your head, how like there's a PvP fight and then there's this lance master, which is me, who is like always dropping his lance and was like, oh, sorry, can we wait? Let me just take this up here. How do I use this? And holding the wrong end to the enemy and whatnot. Like, that is basically my PvP status right now. It's awkward. I think my team hates me. Like, thankfully I don't read chat in PvP. I have that deactivated. But I'm pretty sure, like, after the fact, like, a lot of people were just like, dude, please deinstall. Please deinstall now. It's fun, though. It's like you're just flying over the battlefield, very active. You have a lot of stuns, a lot of hard crowd control, which you really need, because as you already said, right? Like, you don't take a backhand of an enemy. The same goes in PvP. Like, if they have you in a stun lock, you are on the ground, and they will capitalize on that, you are toast. There is no second chance. There is no forgiveness. It's just Glaivia on the ground. Glaivia on the ground. I repeat, Glaivia on the ground. And then the whole team just descends on you immediately and does unspeakable things to your body. And then you are getting revived. And you are like, well, that didn't work out. All right. Like, it's fun. It's tough. It's tough though. And I love it. Absolutely love it. I also realized I need points.
Yeah.
I need skill points, man. Oh my god. I have to unlock that more. I have so ignored that. And then I was just like, okay, you know what? I cannot be asked right now to put like another 50 hours into the Glaivia to get like a feeling for the class. And then, just learn the skills and all that. So I was following a guide, and I was going through the guide, and I was like, that's weird. I am just halfway through my points, and I don't have any points left.
Yep.
Uh-oh. I might have a problem. And that problem manifested very quickly. Like, oh boy. Oh boy. So yeah, I have to get points. It's pretty bad right now. But yeah, I'm really enjoying the Glaivia. It's really good. It's a really fun one. So yeah. What else? Oh yeah, which of your characters got the Express Pass? Nope, wait. Super Express.
My
mission.
my main character mole. I'm gonna go with my main character.
That sounds about right. Continue.
Nope. So they didn't do an amazing job at really explaining in the game.
Oh yeah,
what that was, right? I love the second day. I just got to call this out. I love the second day I logged in. There's a big ass banner. By the way, Super Express Pass, best if used on your alts T2 and lower. Like, thanks for pointing it out now.
I had so many people just raging in my video about this. Like,
it was so badly set up because like they didn't let you see the rewards either beforehand, so you couldn't really get an idea unless you truly knew what to expect.
The only thing they showed you was a chest, and
which had the T3 rewards in it.
And mostly account items. Account items. It's like, make it sense. Make it make sense.
Yep. The only thing that was kind of like made me double guess before I did it was the word it said express, right? I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna give me something for something else, but screw it. And I just did it anyway. But again, I'm just out like the bound items. I still do get all my books and everything like that. Mm-hmm. So okay, I'm not gonna cry too much over it, but. They definitely knew they messed up considering they put out a big ass banner about it the next day.
Yeah, pretty much. Like people complained in my videos, which had nothing to do with the Express. Like even some of my old ass videos, people are complaining in the comment sections about it. Like that's how bad it is. And want to hear something funny? So I actually did a screw up I did screw up. So I gave it to my Glaivia, which was tier 2. So that means I don't need tier 1, right? It's okay. It's not a big loss. I was okay with that. I was okay with that. So when did they want to tell me that they can just skip the tier 1 things and they don't have to do them in order and they can just do the tier 2 things immediately?
And that's another thing. So I was testing stuff because I know what you're talking about. I was testing stuff. Chaos dungeons, it doesn't matter as long as it's whatever higher. So I literally did my tier 3 chaos dungeons, completed it for all of them. No problems. The raids, on the other hand, the raids are specific. Like I tested it. I tested the level 5 raid. It did not give me any credit for any of them. And
Yes.
I went back and did a level 2 raid. It gave me credit for the level 2, but not the level 1.
Yeah, so yes, that is right. That's not what I meant.
Gotcha.
What I meant is I was in the belief that I have to do all the tier 1 stuff first before I can do the tier 2.
On.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
I was literally wasting my like Chaos Dungeon Guardian raids on the tier 1 because I wanted to finish that so I can get the stuff from tier 2.
Nope.
Nope. Not. You can just skip it. You can just do whatever you want.
Yep. And kind of what I was mentioning too is if you do your highest level chaos dungeons, it will auto complete for the belower stuff.
That's good to know, actually.
The only ones that don't do that are the raids. So you can do any level, you can do any raid within that level, and it will give you credit. But the chaos dungeons, you can do any chaos dungeon, and it will count for below as well. So I thought that was pretty nice that counted. And same with your Una's tasks. You complete your Una's tasks, it completes it for anything that you're unlocked so far.
Yes, pretty much. So yeah, that's pretty neat. I definitely like to do it. I have to do it more. Yeah, like they again did a pretty bad job of explaining it. The same goes with what is the tier 2 area called? With the demons, I always forget the name of that area. I always do.
The Fenton, the place that they gave us,
Fern,
that pass.
Yeah, the pass. Yeah.
Yeah.
Fern,
like Fenton or something like that.
Fen pass. Not Vern. That's something different. Not Vern. Yeah,
it's like Fenton or something like that.
Phaeton. Thank you, Chad.
Yeah.
Thank you. Chad is smart. Chad actually reads names. We don't. Yeah, Phaeton, the Phaeton power pass, that was also badly explained. Like a lot of people were super confused because they still had one of the older passes, so they were clicking on it, and Phaeton Vern sounds similar, and then they were realizing that was not the right one, and they also didn't know that they basically have to jump in with an already existing character and get the pass there. So they were creating Glaivia, and they were logging in with the Glaivia, and they were like, "Hey man, where's my power pass at? What's going on here?" So there was also like big confusion because it wasn't really like obvious where to get that. It's like, okay, I mean, good for me as a content creator, like. That video on how to use and where to get the Phaeton Power Pass. It's close to 10,000 views. Thank you for watching. But it's just, it's one of those moments where you were just, wow, how can you do such a bad job again and again and again to not explaining to the people what they have to do? Did you, by the way, know that sorry, yeah. So
go ahead. I'll let you finish.
No, I just want to know, like, did you know actually that they are lying to you about the express pass time? The date?
Whoa.
So when you were clicking on it, right, there is the banner,
Yeah, because it says one date. Yeah.
and it says the, what is it, the end of June?
June 30th, yeah.
Wrong. It is
And
the
the other
end.
spot says it. Says
It's
something else.
it's the end of July. The end of June is when you have to have chosen a character at that point. You still have time till the end of July to actually finish the quests. And they're showing that only to you before you choose the character you want to give the Power Express, or if you are hovering over the present over your minimap, then it shows the real date. And it's like, I had so many people who are just like, oh man, till the end of June, and hope I'm managing till then. And what is when I want to use this later on, maybe on the destroyer? Like, I'm under so much pressure then maybe. I was like, no, folks, end of July. And of course, there were a bunch of people who immediately called me out on that, and they were like, nah, you're a liar. You don't know shit. Like, you know nothing. Jon Snow, you know nothing. I'm like, dude, it's right here. Like, I can actually show that to you in the video. There. And it's like, oh, talk to us, people. Talk to us. Like, seriously. Amazon or Smilegate, you have to be a little bit more specific and make it more prominent. Like, but sorry, you wanted to say something, and I rudely stopped you.
Oh no, like it just comes down to exactly what you're saying. Like, they just don't call out specific things with that, right? So I didn't see that until you literally said something. I didn't even notice that. I thought it was, oh yeah, it's definitely until that date, right?
Nope. Yeah, it's like, it's really like shitty. Or another thing they're not telling you till you were doing it, you have used the Fate and Power Pass immediately, right?
Yep.
What they are not telling you, when you use the pass, when it is in your inventory, like, you get it in your inventory first. You get mail, you take the pass out.
Oh yeah.
And
this is actually, I think, what I was about to talk about. Yeah. Continue.
No,
Yeah.
like, if you wanted to talk about it, do it.
Oh, so yeah, what I was gonna say was, I think this is where you were leading to, because I didn't see the time that I had when it was in my inventory, but when I used it, I had 4 days to actually utilize the pass.
Yeah, I think actually it's 7 days, I think.
It was something short. Like, it was definitely not as long as the Vern pass when you used it and it was on your home screen. Because when it was on my home screen, it was like I had like a few days.
Yeah, I
to
think
do
it's,
it.
it's
I was
7
like,
days. The Worm Pass is infinite, by the way.
Yeah, then I think that's what I was going off. I was like, yeah, I'll just use this and it just sit there until I'm ready. Nope, you're gonna do it now. I'm like, oh well, fuck me then.
Yep. Actually, if you were keeping it just in your inventory, it actually stays there till the expire date, which is, I think, the end of May. I think it's the end of May or something. I have to look up what the expire date is. But actually, if it sits in your inventory, it stays much longer. The moment you use it, you better make sure you are choosing a character.
I wish that I saw that, because I saw that with like one of the other things that they gave us for something else. They gave us a skin change for something.
Oh yeah,
and it was the same thing. It says like, this skin change token expires in September or something, but then once you use the ticket, you have 365 days to actually utilize it.
Yeah, I think mine expired, or I didn't use it, or something. I have to look at. I'm not really interested in a skin change, because I'm always like very careful with my character creation. I never needed it in any MMOs. But yeah, like, it's so weird also that they are not really explaining that, and it's man. It's the good thing here is, and this is something I also had to explain to a lot of my comments, like, people were a little bit concerned because some people want to play the destroyer, and the destroyer is not in the game yet. It's coming at some point, probably around the same time as we did this week with the April update, but that is probably when it comes. And people are like, but I don't really want to use this pass. I want to wait for my destroyer. Now I already activated it. I have 4 days left. This sucks. They were really pissed. And so the good news for everyone who just used their power pass right now, if career is anything to go by, every time a new class came out, they gave us a power pass. Every time. So when the destroyer comes out, I am pretty sure we will get another power pass. Again, that's what happens in South Korea. Doesn't mean it has to happen with us. Right? We are not South Korea. We never know what Amazon likes to do and what they don't like to do. But so far they have been doing exactly what South Korea did. So before you are panicking a little bit too much, you will probably get another power pass when the destroyer is coming out. Are you interested in the destroyer?
I'm definitely going to give it a shot. I mean, one thing I've noticed is I've been really enjoying melee classes a lot in this.
Yeah.
Like I've never played a class like the Berserker in any other MMO before.
It's so fun.
And I've just been enjoying it. So I definitely want to give the Destroyer a shot, because I will say, like, I've played like in Monster Hunter and in like Dauntless. I've enjoyed the big hammer guys.
Compensating much?
Maybe.
I mean, it's to quote actually an old Warcraft 3 quote, it's not the size of the hammer which counts, but how you swing it. That's an old Warcraft 3 quote. You're welcome.
Yep.
It's from the Griffin Rider. Yep. Oh God, memories. Let's move on. Yeah. So this, like, I really have to say, the Berserker. Like, I had the same feeling. Like, as I said, I'm more the unconventional classes in games, and of course, when I saw the Berserker, I was like, ew. No, I'm not touching that. And then I actually played the Berserker, I think in one of the betas, and I was like, this is fun. This is so satisfying. This is so fun. And yeah, it's just it's just so satisfying. The Destroyer is weird. The Destroyer always played like a mix of Thor, just with a big hammer, and what was the other? Thor and something else. They, again, fun, but they're slow. I would say this Destroyer is even slower than the Berserker. What they are doing, if that is even possible. So yeah, I'm curious. I can tell you that at least when you were trying to group up for Chaos Dungeons and Guardian Raids, in Chaos Dungeons I only had Glaiviers. Like, it was 5-man Glaivia team. That's basically what we did. Guardian Raids, at least we had like 2 Glaiviers, if not even 3. It was weird. Same goes for PvP. Like, there was always at least like 1 Glaivier in the enemy team, if not even 2 Glaiviers in one team. And like, the people who really could play their class, they had a field day with all the Glaiviers swarming the PvP.
Oh, I bet. They're like, oh, come here. I'm going to teach you your thing. Boof.
Oh, still trying to figure out how you actually walk with this character? Well, sucks to be you, I guess. I will have some fun. Like, yeah, it's good. Um, have you a character which could go to Southern?
Yeah, I'm actually been working on Southburn today.
Oh, tell me about it.
Seems shorter than most of the other content so
Really?
far. Map, I mean, you can see when you go in, you can see like how much of the map you get. There's like only 2 parts of the map it's kind of opening up.
Oh,
It seems like one actual dungeon is coming with it. Because I think I'm getting close to the end. Because it's, yeah, like I said, there's only 2 maps and probably like 7 or 8 triports that you unlock.
oh wow.
Yeah, it's not very big. It
Good.
seems like.
Good.
So
How long have you taken so far?
I'd say I'd probably been doing it for about 2 hours, maybe.
Wow, that is short.
Yeah,
That's-
it
that's
hasn't
good.
been too bad. And it's nice too because it is giving decent materials for tier 3, like nice honing materials and stuff that should allow me to get to my my 1370, I'm thinking.
All right, that's good. Which item level do you need to get to Vern? Do you know that? from the back
South
of
Vern
your-
is 1340, so I'm pretty sure it's just the first part of tier 3 basically. So you get what, 1302? Yeah, you just basically have to do a couple hones to get into it. It's like the same time frame you can do the Abyss dungeons, because I think the Abyss dungeons start at 1340 as well.
All right. Wow, that's a change from the usual behavior. Huh. I mean, I like it. I have to say I never liked the whole you were going there for 40 levels. Then you have to do like another 4 to 5 hours of just boring questing to unlock that part. And I have to say, I didn't like the transition of tier 1 and tier 2.
Yeah, it was interesting, and it's also interesting because I didn't realize that tier 3 was going to have a similar transition again. Like you have to go to 1370, and then you're doing the same thing again. You're basically like tier 3.5.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. So speaking of it, I think we can talk a little bit because there was not too much else. Like they did some interface changes and some class balancing here and there, but nothing crazy happened really. So we can actually jump a little bit into another announcement, and which fits perfectly in what you just described and talked about. They actually showed off their new big patch in South Korea, which is coming next week already. And it's the continent of Elgasia? I think it's Elgazi. I don't even try to pronounce that. Let me actually, I think I can show that on stream. Let me do that very quickly.
Yeah, I was actually looking at the map today. I was like, yeah, with South Vern being so short, I feel like there's going to be another continent that they're going to be opening up here shortly, and that makes sense now.
Yeah, let me get that trailer very quickly. So first of all, it's not really a continent. It's actually a city in the sky.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So there are even more spots, because like there's still spots that they can use on that map.
Yeah, it's like welcome to Rapture, so to speak. Having it on the screen right now, but like not spoiler. Well, not really. It's like a teaser trailer, as they call it. You know, trailer of a trailer, because that's what we are doing nowadays. But yeah, it apparently continues the story. There are also sky whales, very important. I immediately thought, Kojima, is that you? What are you doing here? Like lots of whales in the sky. But yeah, you can see it on stream right now if you're curious. But so that would be like patch like tier 3.7, I guess. It looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous. Reminds me a bit of, have you ever played Ion?
I never played it, but I remember it.
The looks reminds me a little bit of it.
Very like heavenly and so on. Yeah.
Yeah. Like it looked actually interesting, especially like the library. I hope this is a dungeon they're showcasing here right now, because that looks freaking amazing. I would love to get like another cool dungeon.
I mean, I've been enjoying their dungeons overall. Like,
they get
Final
better.
Fantasy did a fantastic job at them, and so has Lost Ark.
Yep. They've been, like, it has been good so far. But so, I mean, we know at this point that tier 4 is happening at some point. We don't know when that is. We don't know what it is. Like, we have absolutely no clue about that. But they have already said, like, yes, tier 4 will happen. And maybe even a season 3 of Lost Ark will happen. But it will be different from what we are used to so far. Like, especially from going from tier 3 to tier 4 is something they want to do. They don't want to have those big jumps apparently anymore. And they don't, like, they haven't really talked about it too much. So there's a lot of like guesswork and like, hey, my uncle working at Nintendo has told me that, you know, that kind of deal we're sometimes getting. And yeah, it's just in general, I'm curious to see where they're going with it. Like, especially with tier 3, where they have literally said, okay, honing, sure, big part of what we are doing, hasn't changed, because it's also in the item shop. But we are focusing now on a lot of things which give you power, but which will not increase your item level anymore. Right? Like the how we are giving you power is changing dramatically in tier 3 in comparison to tier 2 and tier 1. So I'm kind of curious what they would do with tier 4.
Yeah.
Right. Another question I have for you before we are slowly wrapping up here. Do you think with all the new additions to the game that, like, they have removed the Grand Prix of Lost Ark, which I'm kind of sad about. I really like the Grand Prix.
It was something to fill a void when you were like, I want to do something. Let me do this.
It gave you honing materials without you having to, like, yes, it was quick, it was fast, but it was also something different. It wasn't just kill a million monsters over and over again, right?
Yep.
So I really, really enjoyed that. But, like, next weekend, by the way, this is your last week for everyone who is listening right now, where you can get, like, the special Guardian event farm. Like, if you still want to farm some ingredients from that special Guardian event thingy, this is your last week. Like,
I wonder what they're gonna do about that afterwards too.
Because we got the Express, but that is really just for one character, and that's really it. Like, and when that is gone, like the Grand Prix is already gone, which is like, oof. And now that Guardian event thing is also gone this week, or well, the upcoming week. And it's like, okay, you wanna do something about this? Like as you already said, like new events or like I think we talked about this before, right? That I'm not really a big fan of giving us honing materials through the events all the time
Yeah.
because you basically become dependent.
Yep.
You basically become dependent on those events. Oh, this is something else, folks. Give me just a second here. But yeah, you're just becoming dependent on that those events are always there. And I think the best way to do it is really like maybe implement something which gives you permanent more resources through other means. Because
Yeah.
how many events do you got? Because they're already tricking us. So the Special Guardian event we have, right? That is a winter Christmas event.
Yep.
If you haven't noticed, you are getting those snowballs or those Christmas balls thingy, the ornament you are normally putting on your Christmas tree, and that is what you were getting as resource. And that is actually event for Christmas and winter. So they already gave us that completely outside of the season just because we really need some resources. So yeah, the question is like, how many events do you have to subsidize that? Like, and yeah, the Ark Pass is a thing, sure. But again, I don't think it gives us much resources. Like maybe in total it will, but just in general it doesn't give us much resources as the events. And also, half of those resources, as we talked about this before, is behind a paywall.
Yep.
So I don't know. I'm curious about the solution, and I'm hoping they're informing us more than 4 hours before the next downtime. Or maybe they're informing us that they found a critical bug and have to postpone it by a week. There was another like communicate much. Like I really would love to know what happened. Like I know this is me. Like I know that for most people they don't give a damn about it. For them it's only important that it works. And
That the game is there.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's what most people care for. But I'm always like the person who wants to get some details. Just curiosity. I'm a very curious person, inquisitive person. And it's like, yeah, I would love to know like what happened that literally 3 to 4 hours before the maintenance should have started, you had to tell us, nah, sorry folks. And then just saying psych afterwards. As like, yeah, a little bit more communication on that would have been cool. So, have I forgotten anything? I think we covered everything there was. I mean,
Oh, there was something else that I noticed.
oh,
And this was interesting. So remember how I messed up my, Express Pass? So I
yeah.
had to go back. I went back to redo the Abyss dungeons because those at least give the combat and those type of engravings, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I did them. And a new thing that I noticed is they don't just tell you or show you what you need to do anymore by like the little blurps. They actually tell you. There's literally an audio cue saying, oh, he's gonna do this. Pay attention to the color and touch that ore.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, when did they do that?
I think this came with the patch. I noticed that when I did the tier 1 ones exactly, and like he was just talking, like the first boss, like the very, very first boss you're doing in an abyss dungeon normally doesn't have any audio cues because there's not really much to say besides of don't stand in the literal shit of that boss. And now he is like, oh yeah, you have to be careful. He's jumping at you and then leaves this toxic slug behind. And you should probably like position yourself so that you don't put it everywhere on the battlefield. And it's like, what? Who was that? Who's talking to me? What's going on here?
Right?
Like, yeah, like that's good. That makes things probably a little bit easier. I was actually surprised that it the orb boss and nobody screwed it up. Like we literally defeated the boss after the second orbs popped up, and then he was gone. Like that was smooth. I mean, they also, I know that this happened like weeks ago, that they upgraded like the visibility of the explosion he is giving off.
Yeah.
Like that is now so much easier to spot. But yeah, it's the small things. It's the small things. I was going through the patch notes and I was like, you know, yeah, okay, cool. I'm not so sure though if they're telling us everything. Like it's not as in depth as I sometimes would like. I feel. Like
yeah, I can agree with that because like again, I didn't see anything about them saying audio cues for stuff like that, and I feel like that's a pretty big to do, honestly.
Yeah, I think that's a problem with like this reminds me a little bit of From Software, where they are like pushing out patch notes. They're going into details what they did, and then like on the last part of the patch notes, they're like, oh yeah, we also completely rebalanced tons of weapons in the game everyone is using, but we will not tell you which weapons and what we did. Have a nice day.
Good luck, have fun, figure it out.
Yeah, it's like they're literally saying rebalanced weapons. I was like, what are we talking about here? Like, I'm really hoping that at some point we are not finding out that we got some class changes and they didn't tell us about it. And yeah. Like,
yeah, that wouldn't be good. Would not be good at all.
Yeah, that would be problematic. Like I know those were different times, totally different times, but I remember when it once happened in World of Warcraft. They just forgot like one important change with a class. They just forgot about it. Happens, you know. People did go ballistic over this. Like they were literally like, what the hell? Like this changes everything. How dare you? So yeah. But yeah, I think that was the April patch. The next big patch is May. We'll probably get some events in between, but May is the next big patch, and that's where we get tons of new content. Like we didn't really get that much content with the April patch.
Like I said, I'm about almost done with the South Vern stuff. I'm actually surprised how quick it was because I think I got the main dungeon left to do, and that's about it. So probably about 2.5 hours of actual play content.
Yeah, if you're not interested in the Glaivia, then frankly, there's not much to do for you, like as new content. So it seems like the May is at least much, much broader. I'm actually, so this is a guess, a wild guess on my end. I actually truly suspect that they will fan out the patch over May, so that the first patch will be the Destroyer. We'll probably get that at the beginning of May, and then like a week or two later we will start to get like the Guardian raid and the other raids. Like I think they will actually fan it out a bit.
I could see that.
Like, because there is much, much more content there. And, well, we have absolutely no clue what's coming afterwards. And when it's coming. Like, we have no clue. So, yeah, we will see. It should be definitely some interesting weeks ahead of us. But with that said, I think we have reached the end. Do you have anything on your mind, Beaver?
Nope, not at all. Actually, I'm glad. I will say this. Even though this patch didn't necessarily bring a lot of content, I will say that I'm glad that we have the Ark Pass, the Express Pass, because it does have challenges and stuff for you to kind of do, to kind of, keep things fresh in a sense.
Yeah. It's like, it's not necessarily like, as you said, like the big new content, but it still improves the game and paves the way for the things to come. So yeah, it's so overall, let's one last thing. April patch, good or bad? What's your thought?
I would say good. I mean, we didn't have. I haven't noticed any bugs, right? Like other than some of the other patches we had when our stronghold was broken and some other things. Like it definitely seems like this was I would say, I wouldn't say a great patch, but I would say a good patch.
It wasn't a Fallout 76. Good. I take that. No, but seriously, me too. I would say it was a good patch. Yeah, sure, the European servers died for like 2 hours. I was actually fearing for worse. It was also the first time the servers were actually busy, and believe it or not, there were some queues popping up again on some servers, even in the US.
Yep, I noticed that even our servers were showing as busy for a lot of them when we haven't seen that in
a few
quite
weeks.
some time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I actually saw some US folks who are not used to queues go like, what is this window? What is it saying? Well, it's a queue, you have to wait.
The hell?
The what? what do you mean by that? I have to wait. Like, is there like a keyboard combination I can do or something like that? Like, what is this? Like, there were some people really confused. But yeah, I think it was a good patch, and I'm confident now about the May patch, and I'm really confident about the next patches when we are slowly like catching up with South Korea, and I'm really, really curious to see how they are doing this. Yep.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like I definitely burned myself out a bit when it came to grinding hard. So I was gone for a little bit in terms of grinding, but like yesterday, today, and throughout the week, I've been like grinding hard again.
Oh yeah,
Like-
that Lancer has to become like tier 3 ASAP. So have to work on that as well. Speaking of which, I have to do that. I didn't have the chance yet. So, but I would say we are wrapping it up here. Yes. And folks, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before we leave, Mr. Beaver, where can we find you?
trovo.live/beaver, as well as twitch.tv/beaverlive. And you can find me and follow all the tweets on the Twitter. Beaver Live. Yeah, simple as that.
There we go. You can also find the links in the video description, folks. As always, make sure to follow that man or subscribe, follow, whatever the platforms are calling it. Just make sure you're doing the thing, and I would appreciate that. It's always a pleasure to have him here. And yeah, you can find me, by the way, here on YouTube. So if you are subscribing to the channel, you are getting a lot of like Lost Ark guides. You are getting the podcast once per week, and also I'm doing daily gaming news is not right, but whenever they are like news, I will cover them. They're also like reactions to like trailers, gaming announcements, gaming conventions. I'm doing that. I also have started to do a little bit more Warhammer 40k lore, and yeah. If you do that, if you enjoy that, make sure you're subscribing to the channel. If you ever want to catch me live, you can do so from Monday to Friday, starting at 9 a.m. ET, which is 2 p.m. UK time and 3 p.m. Central European time, over at trovo.live/ChaosMole. And you will find the link in the video description. And don't forget to like the video. But with that said, we are out of here. Thank you so much for watching. We see you next Sunday for another Founders Ark podcast. Till then, have a good one. Bye bye.
See ya.
Boop.